Welcome to Formed, where each week we navigate a relevant topic or question through honest conversations. We are three pastors with three different backgrounds on staff together at Irving Bible Church in Irving, Texas. We believe we are constantly being formed in the way of Jesus for the sake of the world, and we hope this podcast helps with that. So let's jump into this week's episode of Formed. Welcome back to another week of Formed, where we get to hang out and chat and talk today about Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
But before Halloween, today is actually something special.
What is today?
It's your birthday!
It's your birthday, Isaac.
Well, you're listening to this on Thursday, so yesterday.
But we recorded on Wednesday, and today is Isaac's birthday. So
Thank you.
Birthday, buddy.
You know what? Cool. The coolest way to start off a birthday is hanging out with you guys.
Is that right?
Talking
That's
about
what you dreamed
Halloween.
of. We made your day.
Honestly,
I think he's just kissing
Yeah.
up to the senior pastor. I think that's what's
sure
happening
that's
right
true.
now.
no. Yes, it is birthday day, but I am excited to talk about Halloween candy at the end.
At the end.
We're gonna
Yes.
rank
Candy.
and draft our favorite Halloween candy, because this will come out on Thursday. It's the last pod before Halloween happens next week. A popular holiday here, and so we just wanted to talk about it. It's kind of, I don't know, a little bit of controversial in
some circles.
yeah, in some circles, and different backgrounds on it. And I just kind of want to start there. What's our backgrounds with Halloween? How did y'all grow up with it?
So my parents were Indian immigrants, so we didn't really, especially as like little kids, I didn't participate in Halloween. Not even because, I mean, there were some questions about like pagan roots of Halloween and all of that, but more than that, it just wasn't like they were just culturally unaware of it. So I remember I was probably like in kindergarten or first grade coming home and saying like, I need a costume. And my dad looking at me like, just like I was crazy, saying, so you want me to pay for you to dress up to go to school? Like, why can't you just go to school as yourself? You know? So it wasn't probably until like, teens that I actually, where I could have input about my costume that I started participating in Halloween. But we still did trick-or-treating because all the candy.
Gotta get all that candy.
Yeah.
So.
Good. Yeah, so, I mean, I grew up in the 70s and on into the 80s, and so if you think about Stranger Things and Halloween on the show Stranger Things, like, I think I was the same age in like 1982 as those kids, so that was sort of the scene. Halloween was a really big deal around here, and the trick-or-treating, like you would sometimes drive to the really affluent neighborhoods where you knew the candy was going to, like,
candy.
they give out like full-size candy bars over there, and so but yeah, I mean, just the little plastic mask with the thin little rubber band around the back of it, homemade sometimes Halloween costumes. So yeah, it was always just a fun, playful time with friends and family. Sometimes my sister would figure out my costume for me. She was older than me, so this is what you're going to do. So yeah.
Is there a favorite like costume that you remember going as? You're like, because I went as Gandalf one year, and it's my favorite thing ever. I still remember it. And
so I don't remember specific costumes. Of course, I just referenced how long ago it was that I was dressing up for Halloween. So at this point, my memory is not maybe as clear. But my kids especially, and especially my middle kid, my now 18-year-old freshman in college, he would design his own costumes. Like, we didn't ever do a store-bought costume for him after he got to a certain age. And what he pulled off, I mean, all three of my kids are theater kids, but what he could pull off. So one year he was Nightwing, and this costume he pulled together was amazing. One year he was the Joker, from their Jared Leto version of Joker. But I mean, we got outfit, costume, he did makeup, all that. I mean, amazing what he would come up with for his Halloween costume. So yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything memorable.
Nothing.
No.
Dang,
I want to see pictures of you. As
Gandalf is pretty good though.
I need to see young pre-beard Isaac anyway.
Hey, well, I had a long beard for that costume, and that was awesome. Chewbacca one year.
Chewbacca's a good one.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take Halloween and kind of go backwards. What is the origin? How did this holiday come to be?
Yeah, so it's interesting to note, especially given the fact that, as you alluded to, it's sometimes a little bit of controversy surrounding this day. It's interesting to note, even the name Halloween comes from All Hallows Eve, and it's actually a recognition from the Christian calendar. So November 1st is All Saints' Day in the traditional Christian calendar. So that's the day that the church, from very early on, early centuries of the church, there was a day that was set apart to just commemorate those especially distinctive, holy people who had gone ahead. November 2nd then is All Souls' Day, where it's the time to remember all who have departed in Christ. But oftentimes a holiday, just as we have Christmas Day, you actually do a celebration the night before Christmas Eve. So with All Saints' Day or All Hallows' Day, it was All Hallows' Eve the night before, and that would be a time of celebration, a time of partying. It falls where it does. It's October 31st, going back to around the 8th or 9th century, and it seems as though the way it got to that point, because, again, it's an observance that goes back to the early centuries of the church, but it was more of a springtime holiday, and then it seems as though it was brought into the end of October, the beginning of November, in the 8th and 9th century, particularly related to the Celtic people. And there had been, before Christianity came to the Celts, they had a harvest festival, so a kind of a pagan harvest festival that was there at the end of October. And so it seems as though once that region became Christianized, there was a kind of turn from this traditional pagan holiday, harvest festival, to a day to then celebrate All Saints' Day. And so All Hallows' Eve, the night before All Hallows or All Saints' Day, became this opportunity for celebration, for partying. And of course, we developed some of the subsequent traditions from there. But historically speaking, it goes back to around the time of the 8th and 9th century.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, so Barry's the context king. I was like, you got to do this part.
Context.
Well, when we look at really the origins of anything, should we factor in as Christians the origins of something before we partake in it?
So maybe I think the question you're trying to ask, let me say it like this. I think the question, or how I would maybe think about it is, does the fact, because before it was All Hallows' Eve, there were pagan roots with the Celtic people. So does the fact that it has pagan roots then mean that it somehow compromises or taints how we practice it in the present? And I think we have to be careful with that, because there isn't this absolute right or wrong. I think a lot of this is we are given freedom. Paul talks about this in 1 Corinthians 10, that we're given freedom to engage in cultural practices. And so that's really up to each individual to determine, examining their conscience test and seeing, is this something I could participate in a way that's going to still be God honoring? And so I think that's the question. It's not necessarily in my mind if it has these roots that we can't then participate in it in the present time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah, I think part of this has to do with the interplay between our faith and our cultural location, our cultural situatedness, and just the recognition that there is no expression of Christianity that sort of just floats along above or outside of culture, that throughout the centuries of the church, our faith has always been lived out, expressed within a particular cultural context. And so that's why even thinking about, Sissy, with your Indian ethnic background, like what the church has looked like and how it's expressed itself in that cultural context compared to where we are right now here in Irving, Texas, right? There's differences that we see historically that are the wedding of our faith and our cultural location. So then you go back and you think about a time where a particular culture goes through a significant moment of transformation, like the people of Ireland back in the 7th, 8th, 9th centuries, where that region went from paganism to predominantly Christian. And so you can imagine how, we're accustomed to having a feast and having a party at this time of the year. Let's let's do this Christian party at the same time of the year. So the discussion even about the history of December 25th for Christmas, some people will really argue, well, that's not actually when Jesus was born, and it got put there because there was a pagan thing. But that doesn't mean that we're somehow participating in a pagan celebration if we choose this date to commemorate the birth of Jesus. What we're commemorating, what we're celebrating, what we're observing in this case is the birth of Jesus. And so, I don't think we have to be over concerned that somehow it's ancient cultural backgrounds somehow taints our contemporary expression or experience. The issue is, what is it that we're doing? What is it that we're commemorating? What is it that we're participating in?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, it totally does. Yeah, I agree.
No, it does. How do you answer the question, should Christians celebrate Halloween?
Yeah, so I go back to I don't think there is a absolute right or wrong in terms of should you or should you not celebrate Halloween. I really do think that each one of us has the freedom to decide, how do I engage these cultural practices? And I think we have to be wise. I think we have to be careful. So I don't think if we celebrate Halloween, I don't think we should celebrate evil. I don't think we can celebrate death, all of those things. And yet, for most people, I would say Halloween is this time where kids dress up in costumes and it's about candy. And that doesn't feel in any way related to paganism. That doesn't feel in any way evil. And so I think you do need to be wise. I think you do need to be careful. There's a difference between, a child dressing in a cute costume and going door to door for candy versus an adult in a offensive costume. But that's how we have to navigate all of life, not just Halloween. So I think there's that. I would also say one of the things that I have found really helpful, and one of my convictions is I really do want to celebrate Halloween. And here's why. I don't think it's a necessarily an evangelistic opportunity or an outreach opportunity, but I do think it's an opportunity to love our neighbors. Yeah. So when I go into my neighborhood, when I go home, I pull into my garage, I close my garage door, and I go inside. And that's what all my neighbors do. And I rarely see my neighbors outside. And if they're outside, typically they're in the backyard, or maybe I might see them walking their dog or something like that. But on Halloween, it's almost as if all the walls come down and people are actually coming to my home and knocking on my door, right? And I get to give them something good. And so I think Christians shouldn't buy cheap candy. I think we should give good candy out. But it's an opportunity to engage with your neighbors, to have conversation with them, with their kids, and to get to know people, to interact and be part of the community. And so I really struggle with, for me, I don't want to be that house that has the lights turned off and I'm not going to be home or I'm not going to answer the door. I want to be the house that the lights are on. I want you to come in. I want you to, I want to, have fun with you and be welcoming and hospitable and caring. And I think Halloween gives us an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why we as a church just have chosen not to do a big fall festival or a trunk or treat and that sort of thing, because we really do want the people of our church to be in their neighborhoods and to be interacting with and getting to know their neighbors. And this is perhaps a really silly biblical analogy, but it came to my mind as you were talking, Sissy. I think about the story of the wedding feast at Cana, and Jesus turns water into wine. And it's not just the cheap stuff. It's like, this is like the best wine, right? Jesus brought the best wine to the party. And I think as Jesus followers, we should dedicate ourselves to, we're going to bring the best wine to the party. We should bring the best candy to Halloween. I saw a clip on Instagram of somebody saying, we don't celebrate Halloween as a family. We just like to dress up in costumes and get lots of candy. And then it cut to somebody going, I think that's celebrating Halloween, right? So, I think it's just something that can be really fun and really playful. Obviously, there is a kind of a dark side, and we probably should spend a little time thinking about talking about that. But I think it's a really great opportunity for us to be engaged with our neighbors in the front yard, passing out candy, smiling, talking to people. So
So let's go there, because there is this dark side of Halloween. There is this, my son's going to dress up as Captain America, and my little girl's going to be Cinderella. They're so excited and to get candy. But there's also this other side of even like how Barb and I, my wife and I, grew up with Halloween. She didn't grow up celebrating it. She's like, her family didn't play around with the Halloween at all. I'm over here dressing up as Chewbacca. So there are some darker paths of Halloween when it comes to worshiping Satan and demons and this glorification of that. And so how do we handle that part of Halloween as Christians?
Yeah, again, I think that's where we have to be careful and wise. And so even thinking about Captain America and Cinderella are wonderful. That's great things for kids to be. But I would be careful about maybe what costume I would wear or what I'd have my child do, and really helping them even understand. I think we rarely talk about the history of Halloween, and so really helping them understand even the history of it. But I do think there's a way, while that's true, and I think more and more, I don't know if it's necessarily that our culture has become more focused on sort of the satanic elements of it as much as like the sensationalized elements of it. Mm-hmm. I think there's a way we can be wise and careful to participate in the holiday without celebrating those pieces of it, the Satanism, the evil, and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, as Christians, we're certainly called to be wise, to have discernment, and also to not be afraid, right? So I think sometimes, I remember growing up, as a kid, there was a lot of sometimes sort of fear-mongering, I think, around Halloween and the dark elements of Halloween. And, yeah, sometimes that got sort of sensationalized. So we got to be careful about sort of being sucked into that kind of fear-mongering while also not being naive about the fact that we do live in a world that is contested territory, right? That God has an enemy at work in the world who seeks to undermine his good intention at every turn. And there have been those who have been seduced by that enemy, who are actively participating in what that enemy of God is up to in the world. And there is a connection that some people have that get pulled into the cult or witchcraft that connects with Halloween. So we have to be wise and aware of that dimension. I would say keep a safe distance, be prayerful, but also I think about the great words of Martin Luther. And Luther lived at a time right in the 16th century that I think there was an even greater sense of the reality that we live in a contested world. And so Luther, in his famous hymn, "A Mighty Fortress is Our God," says, "And though the world with devils filled should threaten to undo us," which, just pause there and think about it for a second. I think we rarely think about the fact that we live in a world that's devils filled, right? We sometimes only think about that at Halloween.
Yeah.
Luther would think about it as all the time.
Right.
There's a spiritual battle taking place.
Right.
Though the world with devils filled should threaten to undo us. I think we ought to actually take a hint from Luther to recognize, no, the spiritual battle that's taking place is taking place all the time.
Yeah.
But Luther says, though the world with devils filled should threaten to undo us, we will not yield, for thou, that being God, for thou hast willed thy truth to triumph through us. So what Luther is saying is, yes, we live in a world that is a contested spiritual battleground, and yet we have God on our side. We have truth on our side. We need not be afraid because of the reality that we are a mighty fortress is our God.
Yeah.
I think we spend a lot of time emphasizing these dark elements of Halloween when, as you said, they're always present. I mean, we just talked about the first time I saw a Ouija board, but I had known enough, like I'd been taught enough, of like that's not something you want to mess around with. I'm not going to participate in that. So we know that there are these elements that like we just shouldn't participate in because they're not of God. And I think it's wisdom to having the wisdom to know what those things are.
Yeah. I don't. I took a class at DTS, angelology, demonology, Dr. Harrell, and when I think about my time at DTS, that's one of my top classes, memories. of projects and stories and books and videos of like, hey, you're gonna have to sign a waiver before you watch this video in class and stuff. And it might surprise you, but I don't really rock with anything. Like I really in the spiritual realm, spiritual battle, I really take that like very serious. And like I don't rock with haunted houses. I don't do horror movies, and it's not like a no judgment, if you're into that genre of movie. I just don't do any of that, and there's just something about it. I'm like, that's not of this world, that I don't want to partake in that and allow, just that spiritual. Yeah, it's a whole. I mean, we could do a whole podcast on the spiritual battle and spiritual realm of that. But so, how do we? If there's parents listening to this, how would you give advice, like to how do you navigate the topic of Halloween with kids?
Well, I don't have kids, so I want you to start first.
You can still.
Here's what I would say. But I want Barry to start first.
I think for us, it was just always approached as very fun, playful. A time to get lots of candy, so a time for them to be prepared. I mean, how do you talk to kids about it? Just prepare them for the dad tax so that they understand there will be a dad tax at the end of the night, that as we dump out your bucket, Dad will be picking out a few choice pieces.
I get the first fruits.
I try to make sure it's the stuff that they don't especially love, that I might especially love. But every once in a while, I'm getting one of their.
I'm going to have to test this out
Reese's
for you.
peanut butter cups. So yeah,
that's right. I would say I really enjoy hearing the history of Halloween. Like I didn't learn that until much later on, and so then understanding where this came from was really helpful to me to even understand the origins of the holiday. But then secondly, just focusing on what are we celebrating? We're celebrating having fun, and it's we get to dress up and eat a lot of candy, and it's this one day where you could do that, because most days kids can't do that, and so that's a fun thing to do. And so just focusing more on that, but again, being wise and careful in how we do all of that.
Yeah, and I think as kids get older, it's helpful to talk to them so that they're not naive about the reality of spiritual warfare in the world, and that Halloween might present an opportunity to have conversations around that. But the reality of spiritual warfare is not something that's reserved for one day a year, but it's actually a reality that that we need to be mindful of all the time.
Yeah. All right, y'all ready to have some fun?
Let's do.
Talk some Halloween candy?
I spent more time thinking about this than anything else.
I got notes.
I'm ready. I came to play.
All right. At the end of each episode, we like to have some banter, fun conversations with this. So this week's assignment was, hey, we're going to do a fantasy draft of a Halloween bucket. And we're each going to pick go back and forth, have a little snake draft here. And we'll start with Sissy, go to Barry, then me, and then I'll do 2 picks, then come back, and we'll do it this way. For favorite or best Halloween bucket, for creating the best Halloween bucket. Sissy.
I got to think about my strategy, though. I thought about candies, but do I take stuff first that's obscure that you wouldn't take anyway, or do I save that for later because it'll still be on the board, but take the,
if you want to take the black licorice first,
you could have that.
No, I'm not taking that one.
No black, no.
Yeah.
Then I won't be able to take
the red licorice. She really loves that, but not me so much. So.
Okay.
All right. Number 1 draft pick, Reese's peanut butter cups.
See? Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I'm going.
Are you bummed by that?
Well, I mean, I thought that was going to be in the top 3, and so that's.
But I don't feel like that was one of yours.
No, it's specifically what I was thinking about. It's like, should I grab that one with my first pick? Because I know my top pick will still be on the board. I think I'm just going to go with what I really like. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going for Milk Duds.
Oh,
Milk Duds.
Milk Duds.
That little yellow box.
I love Milk Duds.
Huh.
I actually really do like them too. They're on my list of what I would be drafting.
Milk Duds.
Yeah, they're all right.
That was one of those that I could take a dad tax and I didn't get a lot of resistance.
Yeah, they're not going to give you a hard time about that. Yeah.
Well, I'll leave Peeps for Sissy.
That's Easter, wrong holiday.
Real quick, is candy corn the Peeps of Halloween?
Oh,
no, because Peeps are good. I don't like candy corn.
You don't like
Peeps
candy
are
corn?
awful.
Although Caroline
Candy
told me
corn
today that
are
if you
awful.
put peanuts and candy corn together, that it's pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah.
I've never
Sorry,
had
Caroline,
it. Yeah.
I don't believe you.
You don't like candy
She's
corn
not-
either?
Oh man,
No, candy corn's that's a waste of time.
it's
I like the pumpkin candy corn.
Nope.
There's like
Well,
So
that's
you want to
pumpkin
make fun of me for Peeps, but you want to eat pumpkin
Pumpkins,
Yes!
they're
corn.
no candy pumpkins.
Whole other
That's
level.
worse than candy corn.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
there's no way. Like, okay,
Waxy
we're gonna have to
and-
figure out a way to. We're gonna send.
What's
like,
your pick? What's your pick?
all right.
Go ahead and take the pumpkins.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
take
ahead.
the candy corn.
No.
Pumpkins
Oh, hold
and then
off.
candy corn. Okay, now it's back to me. Okay.
Well, this kind of gives away that I like the fruity candy more than like chocolate. So my back-to-back picks are Skittles and Airheads.
Nice.
They're my first
Yes.
two. I'm going after
Nice.
in the bucket.
Good pick.
Skittles and
good pick.
Airheads.
Yeah.
Skittles are
I love Airheads.
Airheads.
They're incredible.
I haven't had Airheads since I was like 15 years old.
All right, I'm going to go with another choice that I don't think is on either of your lists. I really like the little 100 grand bars.
100
You know what that
grand?
is? It's
Yes.
the- it's like-
Yes.
yeah, chocolate and
They sell-
it's like
still sell
little
those?
crispy, and it's got caramel. So notice the connection between the two. They both are caramel. My Milk Duds and 100 grand are both chocolate. And
I feel like I need to go to like
That's
a
your-
general
that's your
store
go-to.
to find that.
Oh, you go to the Darcy's candy bucket up in the staff.
100
There's 100
grand.
grand up there.
Oh yeah. Unless I find them, they're in the bucket.
All right, 100 grand.
I'm going Kit Kat.
Good pick.
That's solid.
Good pick.
Solid
That's a
pick.
solid
Good pick.
Yeah. I do
Oh,
like
man,
Kit
I
Kat.
feel like I have some good.
Wait,
options
Sissy's
on the
pick
table.
again.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
she
okay,
goes
hold on.
twice.
Okay, I don't think either of you will want these. I want Twizzlers, like strawberry Twizzlers. I love Twizzlers.
We have some in the bowl. up
I know,
there.
I eat 'em every day.
They're pretty good.
Every day.
That's the red licorice
Yeah.
things, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's Kim.
I'm
loves
with
those
Kim.
Too. She's it's a top pick for her.
Okay.
Oh man, I feel like there's a lot of good things left in the bucket for me to choose from. I'm gonna go. Maybe this is something I'm stealing from Isaac since I got the sugary.
Don't do it.
And sour. I'm going Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love me some Sour Patch Kids.
Those are good.
Yeah.
I love Sour
Yeah,
Patch Kids.
I like Sour Patch Kids.
Now that is one that if I took a dad tax,
You'd
on
get in trouble.
I would get in big trouble.
Yeah.
Stealing Sour Patch Kids.
All right, I'm taking Nerds.
Nice.
I love a good little
little-
box of
those
Nerds.
little box of Nerds,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
solid.
That is good.
And then I might be taking one from you because I say caramel.
Okay.
Do you say caramel?
I don't know
right?
what I say.
It's caramel.
I'll take Milky Way.
Milky Way.
Yeah, I wouldn't fight you over Milky Way.
Yeah, you can
all
have
the
that.
Wait,
Milky-
really?
You can have all
It's
the
like the
Milky Way
same
you want.
same type of stuff.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah, Milky Way is like you're talking about his 100 grand. Milky Way is same category.
It's like caramel and chocolate.
same
like that's his
category.
combo.
Milky Way.
All right, here's a Halloween classic. I'll go Tootsie Rolls.
Tootsie Rolls are
I
good.
like the little ones.
Yep.
I like the long ones. I like the chubby ones. I like them all.
You know. That's incredible.
That's
There's various versions.
There are.
You dump
There are,
out
and I agree.
Dump out the pillowcase, and you have like 4 different versions of Tootsie Roll in the pillowcase.
I do like Tootsie Rolls.
Sizes, lengths.
Wait, why are they in a pillowcase?
Because that's what you would use.
Really?
Yeah.
You can hold a lot more
Okay.
candy
Yeah.
in a pillowcase.
It's a great.
Carry around a pillowcase. The
Vehicle
like
for
different
candy.
flavored Tootsie Rolls, all out.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
They're
100%.
There's got to be chocolate.
Those
Yeah.
are gross. Yeah, just the
100%.
chocolate.
Okay, I'm going Snickers.
Nice.
Okay.
Good choice.
Snickers, solid
Yeah.
choice.
I feel like you're taking a lot of like classic,
I'm classic.
like the kid who walks around like, "Hey, I'm selling candy bars for my little league team." You're like, "Hey, I'll take the box."
No, because he's selling like Toblerones, and I don't want a Toblerone.
Okay, let's pivot to the worst thing. Like if you
Oh,
got,
yes.
if you
Yes.
got this, we don't have to
Yes.
draft this. We can just like
Yes.
throw it out. But if you got this in your Halloween bag, you're saying like, "Why am I going to that
Yeah,
house again?"
it's going. It's going in the trash.
The black and orange generic. I think it's like peanut butter something, but it's like that wax paper. If you hand that out for Halloween, reconsider everything in life.
I don't even know what
I'm
that
not
is.
sure I know
Yeah.
what you're
It's
talking
so
about.
they're horrible.
If you have a bowl of pumpkins and candy corn,
Right.
you need to
That's
reconsider
what,
your life
yeah,
choices.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you really loving your neighbor? if you're doing that?
I think Whoppers are just awful. Like that's just terrible. Don't hand out Whoppers. They're really bad.
Because they're just
Malted.
chalky
Yeah,
balls you don't
just,
like. Okay.
I kind of
really
like malt
bad.
balls.
Yeah, I don't mind. But I wouldn't really want them in my
Yeah,
bag.
I'm not going for them first either.
Eliminate the Whopper.
Good and plenty. Any kind of black licorice tasting, I'm
Yeah.
out.
Get that out of there. No.
It's like medicine.
Where are y'all at with dots?
I mean, sometimes they make their way into your bag, but like,
They stick to my teeth too
Yeah.
much. Is it a hot take to say I'm all out on Hershey Kisses?
They're everywhere,
I know they're just kind of like bland.
and they're
The return on investment of like getting that thing open is just like
It takes a lot of work
That's
for not
true.
a lot of
That's true.
payoff.
I know it's just
Yeah,
like I don't know what I'm doing.
That's
Like,
true.
why am I doing this?
They've got a lot of different flavors now.
I'm not down to eliminate though. I mean, come on.
Okay,
But I think I want them in my Christmas stocking.
Yeah, they're not a
so much in
Halloween.
my
That's a good
Halloween
point.
basket.
That's a good point.
yeah, that's true. Okay, all right. Let us know who had the best Halloween bucket, Halloween pillowcase. I guess.
Yes, pillowcase.
Pillowcase. That's the.
No one was paying for a bucket.
All right, we'll be back next week for another week of Form.